Why is still chemistry students joining? That's what I'm confused about.
I guess they have an interest in tech. I don't know. Alex Jason, you seem like, I don't know. Uh, he's probably mentoring for FST experience or something. I don't know.
Okay. After the event, um, look at that. Oh, wow, we're live streaming.
So do I need to change the happening now message then?
Um, no,
Is it possible to pause it, to stop it?
actually, no, but we can cut it once it's finished.
Okay.
Hmm. 6:05, 8 minutes to go.
Okay, 5:59. Okay, let me go to WhatsApp. Wait, am I still in the meeting? Hold on. Very good.
Yes,
All right,
yes,
cool. Let me mute.
yes, because all of that was live streamed. You know, Good day, everyone. We are about to start in the next minute. So please bear with us. All right. We are going to start. So good day, everyone. Today, as you know, is demo day. This is our sixth event in this demo day series, and we have all of our previous demo day on our YouTube channel. We'll drop the link to our YouTube channel later in the chat. However, as you know, Jamaican Developers has been keeping a series of events. Most of it has been hosted by Latifa Smell, which is our main moderator. She is here at the moment, and Latifa, you can just give a quick eye.
Hi everyone, good evening. So glad to see you all online tonight again. Today will be mostly Oshane since our demo today is going to be from Osu. But
Okay.
I'll see you guys again on Saturday.
Okay, all right. On Saturday we are going to host Google Summer of Code. Later on we'll touch base more about Google Summer of Code and what that event will be about. All right. Our general sponsors for this event, Osub, which is pretty much a parent company of Jamaican Developers Community. Jamaican Developers, as you already know, and in the group. Hopefully, if you're not, you're interested in development, interested in software, AI, and all of the nitty-gritty that comes with tech. We'll drop the link for the invite in the chat later on. And of course, there's Particle Present, which has been in the industry for quite some time now. They're a .NET company, recently got certified, AWS certified, and it's one of the leading AWS provider in Jamaica. We're glad to have them as a sponsor, and of course, Vertis Technology, which has been enabling quite a lot of business to go to like transforming their business. To use digital technologies and has been promoting a lot of tech in the region. If you don't know me, I'm pretty much Oshin Bailey, co-founder of Osub Limited, Jamaican Developers Community. I'm a full stack developer by nature, and I've been in the field for quite some time. I participated in Google Summer of Code in 2017 as a student, followed by being a mentor in 2018. My main language is Python, but I found myself doing more and more Laravel development since like 2020. It just makes the whole, infrastructure and deployment easy. Not to mention building an application really fast and have a nice way of structure your code and documenting, and as well as introducing new developers. It has a really nice, good framework as a starting project and framework. Apart from that, I've been doing quite a lot of projects, both freelance client as in my for my own company, as well as open source projects which I've been contributing quite a lot since recently. And today I will be demoing one of our projects that we are working on, which is known as the School Management System slash Smart ID. So what the Smart ID is a school management system more towards school information system that comes with a lot of features, like for example, attendance tracking, ID tracking, temperature tracking. It also tracks whether a child has COVID or not, their highest temperature for the week, month, and so forth. So what happens is that we build a kiosk, and this kiosk is placed at the front of the various schools that we have the system in, and this child just walk up to the kiosk and scan their ID and temperature. We also have like a metal detector. Let me just show you a quick video of like the hardware side of it. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we're seeing.
Okay, great. So this is a short demo of someone literally just testing out the kiosk. This is a metal detector, so they scan their ID, scan their temperature, and then sanitize and then walk through the metal detector. As soon as they scan their ID, as soon as they scan their temperature, or even walk through the metal detector, all of that is detected if they have eye temperature, their ID, and all of this information, or if they have like a knife or something, all of these information will be logged locally to the kiosk that we built, and then sent to the centralized website that pretty much will indicate whether the child have high temperature and low temperature, their attendance, whether they come late or early. So right here, you can see pretty much the like how much students are, this is a demo instance, by the way. So how much students are present for today, how much were early, came in the grace period, how much early, how much came late, how much absent, and so forth. And you also notice like the temperature, the highest temperature for the day for the student, and the highest temperature for the employees like teachers and so forth. This demo instant don't have any like teachers in the system that attended. So that's one. But as soon as someone scans, you also notice that, okay, the kiosk is online or offline, and I'll show you what that looks like. And after like just demoing how the system works, I'll talk about the whole technical side of it, how I built it, thing consideration that I made when I was building it, and also the various components and tech stack that I use to build a system. All right, so for example, if I go to, hold on, sorry about that. So, no, I'm looking for the kiosk screen. So this kiosk screen is kind of a bit ugly. It has to pretty much be fit on like a small screen, and we just wanted to see the information for the student. So we didn't do a lot of design on the kiosk. And again, the kiosk is like a physical device that as like the what you saw in the video, but what you saw in the video was our expensive version of the kiosk. There's like one with the metal detector, one with just like a stand and a computer interface. And then there's one with just the temperature scanner and the ID scanner. So there's like different variation for the hardware depending on the school budget. So if the school can afford the metal detector, sure. If they can't, then they can go with one of the lesser functional devices. So generally, once they scan their ID, what will happen is, so for example, if I type in 12, it will pretty much show the student that, associated with that ID. They'll see, of course, the temperature log for the student. You notice, oh, 1 hour ago the student scan 31 degrees Celsius, 31.6 degrees Celsius, and that's low temperature. Normal temperature would be 36.4. So low temperature, most likely this child has a cold or something. And as soon as the beauty of it, as soon as the students scan, if they scan late, what will happen? A SMS will be sent out to their parent, or indicating that, oh, their child came to the school late. If and also the like school managers, like the dean of discipline and so forth, we could also get notified whether by SMS, email, or a push notification. If the child is absent for the school, from school, say for example, someone didn't show up today, the system will automatically send out a message to the parent asking, oh, is your child at home? Is your child okay? So forth. If the parent indicate okay, no, then this, it will get back to the system and it creates this whole missing child report, and create that whole responsiveness for checking whether the child is okay or not. So there's a part of the system which all about child safety, and all based on like their attendances for the day, the week, and so forth. And of course, if, for example, today someone scan, like we found a knife on someone, you will notice that, okay, there's going to be some messages right here indicating, oh, the principal need to see you. We found this on you. Please go to the principal office. Or if they're suspended, you're not allowed to, come on school, on the school property, and so forth. And of course, if I put in the temperature, the 38.10, you'll see high temperature and so forth. Please note, even though I'm manually putting in the information, in real life, in production environment, the scanner automatically autofill everything and submit. So there's no time that the student or the principal or whoever at the gate will have to manually input the data. Everything is done automatically, so that someone can just student can walk through without any issue. Well, as long as the kiosk allows them to. If something goes wrong, like a high temperature, it will make a noise like beep, beep, high temperature, you're not allowed on this on school ground. But that's funny, that's one of the things that we might be taking out, that just alert sound, mainly because you don't necessarily want to alert everyone that someone has a high temperature. So there's still some small changes that we are working on, but so far what we built, the schools pretty much like the direction and love what we're doing. And of course, all of that will pretty much show on this dashboard You see the amount of students present and so forth. Based on the SMS that like the SMSs that are sent to the like parents or emergency contact number and so forth, all of it will show up right here as SMS reports. So for example, let's click on like eye temperature. Um, well, temperature, you see like this nice visual of like highest recorded temperature by grade for the last 7 days, and you can see, you can definitely see where the temperature, which grade has the highest temperature. The highest temperature today, the the highest mild temperature, highest low temperature, normal temperature. You see it by gender as well, but of course, this is one of the charts that we are told we probably need to change because genderism and the whole yeah, I'm not necessarily going to get into that, but we are switching it, might switch it over to by age instead of gender, because age is probably more a better statistics to use than gender. And of course, you see the highest temperature recorded for the last 30 days, and then the list of students with the highest temperature. Right, this individual has 39.20 um, temperature. And of course, if we click on a student, you see that, okay, you have a lot of information. You have the ID card for the student and so forth, point system, like point system, whether they come late, early, and so forth. You pretty much see how much points they earn for the current week, how much points they earn for the current month. And we're aiming to, do giveaways based on how much points that the student, earn for the week or month. And from here, there's just a lot of data that the school has and can also send SMS message to their parents directly from here or do a bulk SMS. There's also like, collecting lunch because of part system, part students. There are times like students are being bullied for their part lunch, students got stole part tickets and so forth. So there's a lot of features in the system that is trying to counteract a lot of difficulties that the school face. Um, like I said, there's a lot of features in this system. Text message, you can see all of the text message sent, but of course, like I said, this is a demo instance, so there's no text message shown, but I can easily just send a text message from right here and I'll get it on my phone. And there's a lot of reports, whether it's dean report, student report, weekly, monthly, and so forth. So there's a lot of features in the system, and we'll pretty much gear towards automating majority of the challenges and difficulties that we notice with schools, and logging it and giving the schools more data and a more structured way of managing students, managing classroom, tracking attendance, making reports, and a system like this can easily create a well structured report that can easily send to the ministry, and then we have that all interconnected, structured system that the government can use to do more qualitative report as well as quantitative report on the schools, since everything will be centralized and populated so that the government, Ministry of Education and so forth could utilize it from the various schools' perspective. All right, so that's a quick run through of the system. Like I said, there's a lot of features. Like even for example, you have sanctions, watch lists, students who are delinquent. It tracks all of those type of students that are suspended, students on part. It does online student registration. There's quite a lot of features, as well as tracking exam marks, lunch, library system, and so forth. Um, so there's so let me just give one additional view of like, for example. Okay, so for example, this is a view which shows all of the students, and they can literally just students that already came, or they can literally mark their register, and it's a matter of just toggling a button. Um, Toggling a button whether they present or they're absent. Um, they can just run, instead of going through manually. They can also run a bulk automated manual rate. So, for example, if they click on this, it will check the rate, the hours of the school, when is the late time, when is the early time, when it's absent time, and just mark the register based on the data that is given. And data that is given, for example, if I go to institution, you see, like, for example, they can put in when are the weekends, whether it's a day shift, morning shift, the time slots for the shift, set up like different notifications and so forth. So it's a massive system that has a lot of features. We're hoping to get it more in more schools. So far, it's around how much schools? Above around more than 18 schools are using it. Some of the schools we actually already know, like Kingston I, Jonathan Grant, and so forth. And we're looking to get more students, more schools on board. In terms of technology, um, I'm going to just jump into technology and then like open the space for and question or answer a question. In terms of technology, it's built in Laravel, initially Laravel 5, and then I did a massive jump to Laravel 8, which was very tedious to do that migration from Laravel 5 to Laravel 8. It's using a lot of services, like we are actually using a local SMS service provider called You Can Text. So they're actually cheaper than Digital and Flow. So you can check them out if you're interested in having SMS in your application. They're also cheaper than Twilio. But please note, they're cheaper for local SMS, but for international SMS, it's better you go with Twilio or what's that other thing? Digital or Flow. But definitely with Twilio if you're doing international SMS. Um, Other technologies, typical Bootstrap templates. We're using Slick, a lot of jQuery packages. Yes, jQuery is still a thing. It's still a technology that we can't get rid of because of all of the um, packages and components that were built on top of jQuery that we may be using in our project without even knowing. Actually, it's web project. What else technology-wise? Email is pretty straightforward. That's SendGrid. It's easy integration. We are using a lot of webhooks. We built our own webhooks, and if you, yes, you can text. I should say you can text is nice, uh, but their website isn't so great. So this is pretty much the login for you can text, but their API is good. Yes, yes. It's just the API matters. The API is really good, but the UI, they're making changes to the UI, so they have another update to do. Um, all right. Regarding the code, let me show you how that looks. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty much using VS Code to build out most of the application. Um, Laravel is pretty structured as mentioned before. A lot of uh, generally it comes with like a lot of folders that help you to structure your code and your workflow. There's quite a lot of routes, and routes are pretty much URL paths. So for example, if I go to web.php, it will show a lot of routes, like what is login, and then there's middleware. So for example, the login and reset route, the middleware for that is guess. And everything else is like you notice that there's a namespace and middleware, and this middleware that is auth, meaning like only authenticated users can access this. So it has a lot of it helps with really structuring your routes, adding features to routes, security to routes, and so forth. So for example, you notice that this owner has auth, and then right here, this as auth and permissions. So auth and permission middleware is just adding some more um, authorization. Um, so auth is authentication, and auth permission is authorization, and authentication and authorization are two different things. So authorization geared towards whether you have the role or permission to do something. And as you know, with any school management system, you have different users. So you may have student, you may have a teacher, principal, and so forth. And the more management access management you're at a school, the more permission you should be given um, um, for the system. So, for example, where is it? So, for example, permissions. Roles. So for example, we have roles right here. Uh, okay, I don't think that's it. Huh. Seem like I forgot. Right. Um, so all of this is fake data as mentioned before. That's not what I want. Okay. So all of the permissions, like for example, can be listed out right here. There's a lot of permissions, and you notice, it would any system you have, a CRUD, read, edit, view, delete, even though it's CEV. in this, and you notice that, okay, we have students, they can create a student, edit a student, student update, student start admission, and there's just a lot of permission that we can assign to an individual or create a role and then assign the permission to that role, or even create a group, add people to that group, and give the group permissions. So anyone in that group will inherit the permission to do certain things on the website. So like Laravel provide all of this pretty much out of the box. Really great system to use. It's built on the MVC architecture pattern, model view controller. So the modules are pretty much your database tables and data mappers. It's pretty much a ORM called eloquent. And for example, we have like the user, okay, hold on. The school user module that inherits like authentication. So please note, if you're interested in Laravel or always wonder about it, it's pretty much OOP. So it's a really great way to get into the object-oriented programming. So like this is a module that has relationship. So a user is someone, of course, that can log in, and a user might have like an employee, might have an employee object, might have a student object, might have a teacher object. So this is a great way to just form a relationship between tables, and pretty much once you indicate like which module that the current module is related to, Laravel will just automatically do the SQL join and relationship to extract the data. Regarding testing is strictly straightforward. So like easy to test your project. So for example, okay, admittedly, this is one of the few projects I've not written a lot of tests for, sadly. The tests are mainly written using robot. And for all of you who know about Robot Framework, which is an end-to-end testing tool for UI, it's something that I tend to use instead of Cypress, and we did an entire video about Cypress versus Robot. You probably already know. If you're into software testing, Cypress did win that class. How long did you take to be in production? Okay, so production. Well, as soon as I got on the project, it like was in production, because I actually started from an open source project that had most of the component built out, but it didn't have like temperature scanner, the attendance scanner, the hardware side of it. So all of that we built. It took us probably 2 weeks to build the hardware. We also had to create a separate software from this. So there's actually a desktop app that is installed on the kiosk, or if the school have a computer, we just install the application on their computer. So it didn't take long for us to go to production. However, you might ask, okay, why isn't it used more in like a lot of school? The reason for that is that with hardware, you're going to face the challenge of not having enough resources to build the kiosk, because we build the kiosk from scratch. we get the CPU, we get like separate parts for the computer, build it. We buy the like a temperature gun or a temperature scanner, open it, modify it, connect it to the computer. So there's a lot of components that we had to change from the hardware side. And then we had issues with getting parts from China to Jamaica, especially during the first part of the pandemic, because our borders were kind of closed off. So the software was the easiest thing to get to production, but the hardware is what is holding up, getting more schools on board. All right. So it's regarding Laravel. I'll send some tutorials that you can check it out. But regarding any other technologies or anything else regarding tech stack, is there any additional questions you guys have? Okay. Noted. All right.
But you can shoot the non-tech stack questions. Those are fine as well.
Yeah, Shane. So I was just curious, are the schools the clients, or is it like, did you pitch it to the government and then they're rolling it out across schools?
Well, the schools are the clients. We haven't approached the government as yet. And that's because there's a trick to the question that we had to ask ourselves, which way would have we would be able to move faster and add more, quality to the life cycle of the school and the project. So we decided to go towards the schools first, get them to use it. We get a lot of qualitative feedback, and we're satisfying that proof of concept. Then, based on the amount of schools that are using the product, then we decide we'll go to the government and see if we can, do some form of partnership and also subsidize the cost of the system to the school. But for example, metal detector, the metal detector is something a lot of schools express that they're interested in, but a metal detector, to import it, the cost of a metal detector is over 500,000 Jamaican dollars. To import it is another like 300 to 400,000. So most schools, tend not to want to get that metal detector. But there has been some talks with the government about getting more, or we will build out our own metal detector in Jamaica. So we're talking to them, but not in the sense that we are ready to do that partnership.
All right, thanks, Oshane.
Any other question? Okay. So in that case, I guess that's pretty much a wrap for this meeting. We're actually early this time, so that's good. Or on time. So with that said, Latifa, you can go ahead and wrap up.
Okay, thank you, Shane. Could you switch back to the event slides, please? All right, so if there are no more questions, I posted the YouTube channel link where you can find the other live streams in the chat. In the meantime, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out today. So hopefully this inspires you to put your head towards fixing other solutions, other problems that we have in Jamaica. We are aware that there are a ton of red flags that would deter you, but it doesn't mean that you can't start on something. So if you can, if you have ideas, then definitely start on those and we'll see how we can support. For everyone, just to finalize, I'd like to give another shout out to our sponsors, Vertis Technology Solutions Limited, Particular Presence Technologies, Asub Limited, and of course, Jamaican Developers Community Team. If anyone is interested in volunteering, becoming a part of our team, do reach out to us via social media or in the Telegram group. And if you are interested in demoing at future demo days. Right now, we're booked for March and April. So the next open date is May. But if you have any projects that you'd like to demo, do let us know. You can email us at community@caribbean.dev. And as usual, thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening. Right before we close out, we do have our Google Summer of Code information session on Saturday. For those of you who don't know as yet, Google Summer of Code is open to all professionals this year. So as long as the participant or interested person is over the age of 18, you can submit a proposal. There's also a longer time range for those who want to complete projects if you're worried about completing it within the June to August period. That timeline is going to stretch up to the end of October. So you'll have a lot more flexibility, but we will definitely discuss this when we have the Google Program Manager, Stephanie Taylor, visit us on March 3rd. This Saturday, we're going to be going through how to find and choose open source communities to work with or contribute to. So if you are interested in that, do sign up for the Saturday's GSOC session. With that, I think that covers everything. Am I missing anything, Ashing?
Yeah. Yes. The only correction is next Saturday for Stephanie Taylor, the Google Summer of Code program manager. Next Saturday is the 3rd. So this Saturday is a session regarding finding open source projects that you may be interested in, which will be based on some of the open source organization that participated in last year Google Summer of Code. So we're going to take a look at some of those projects and what best the recommendations that you should go with. If you're interested in Node.js, we'll find a Node.js project for you to work on. And if you're interested in Python, there's also Python projects that we can find and point you towards.
Okay, thank you. So with that, we'd like to thank everyone again, and we'll see you on Saturday. Have a good evening and take care.